being a single mom is one thing. Having been married and have children is another. Being a single mom that was never married and have a child is very, very difficult. Years ago, back in the 20s and 30s, being a foster child was a terrible, terrible thing. It's gotten to be where it's so common today, it's acceptable in our society by that. But the impact upon the child is still the same. We have what we call trust issues with regard to the parents, because the most important, especially in a young boy raised by a single mom who was never married, he has no role model. He has nobody to follow. He doesn't understand what parenting is, what responsibility is, what it is to be a man. He doesn't understand any of that. A friend of mine's writing a book now. It's called Grow a Pair. Grow up and be a man. Take on the responsibility. If you don't know how, go find out how. But be able to learn some of those things and be able to do it. And the other aspect we lose in those situations, it's almost like being adopted. And that's somewhat like, there's a psychologist called ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. And adult children of alcoholics have a list of issues that come with them. If you were raised by an alcoholic parent or both parents, there are certain prerequisites or certain things that happen to you in your life that mess you over. So when you become an adult, you have to deal with those things. And there's also, for adopted children, I call it the abandonment issues. And so if you're adopted, you have these issues of abandonment, but at least you have a replacement for what you lost. But for single moms who were never married, here's this child, and they have total abandonment issues. And there's often this hunger to go and find out who you are related to. A friend of mine just wrote a book called Look What I Found. It's a story about having been abandoned by his family, adopted by another family, and then now he's up in his 50s or 60s, and he finally really wants to go and find out where his biologicals are. And so there's that hunger in you to do that. And so helping your children, the other side of it, if you adopt children, for Pete's sake, on the first day of every month, you sit them down, look them in the eye and say, listen, you were conceived in my heart, not in my tummy. We have you because we love you, but you do have other biological parents. I have a 35-year-old lady. She came to see me for counseling, lived in Oklahoma and never lived anywhere else. She gave me a Social Security number. Well, that Social Security number from a list I had was out of New York State. And I said to her, are you sure that's the right number? Oh yeah. I said, no, either you're using the wrong number or you need to talk to somebody in your family. She called me 3 hours later and said, Dr. Talley, my aunt told me I'm adopted out of New York. I'm 35 years old and nobody ever told me. And I think that whatever adopted family should be beat with a stick to do that. Because there's enough issues with being abandoned and being adopted and having those issues you have to work through as a child. That what good is it if you don't know that until you get older? I got another client, he's 18 years old, his 18th birthday. His mother sat him down and said, I need to tell you, I'm not your mother, I'm your grandmother, and your sister is your mother. Now that's a great thing to hand a kid on his 18th birthday, and he already has abandonment issues because he didn't know who dad was, they wouldn't tell him. And so I told the mother and the grandmother both, I said, give him as much information as he wants. Do not try to keep him from finding out, let him go find what it is. You built a relationship with him, and especially if you've adopted this kid and poured 18 years of your life into him and you're not the biological, let him go find that out, because you have something that nothing else can replace, and nothing can replace the blood kin in a child. And so there's that hunger to be able to find that. Some kids don't have it. They want to go and look and do a little bit, 12, 13, they'll look through that. Then when they get older, they never want to look back. They don't want to know. Other people, like this guy's 50 some odd years old when he finally wrote the book on Look What He Found, and he was just driven his whole life to go find him out, but he never took the time to do it. So now he has a good relationship with both of them, both his adopted and his biologicals. And it's really hard to be able to do that, because if you don't know who your father is, you don't have your progeny is, there's just something rattles around loose in your life until you go and solve it. Having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, know you're born again, having a father in heaven, let me tell you, that helped me a whole lot to realize that I didn't have an earthly father, but I had a father in heaven. The Bible says that God becomes the father to the fatherless, and I was a fatherless young man.